Well, we shall continue to circulate here. But in any case, there's no question that Sue Montgomery has behaved in a manner that helps her religious community keep their clergy sex abuse problem and their cover-up and denial of their clergy sex abuse problem through legal bullying and misuse of blasphemy law, etc., invisible from the public by refusing to report it in the Gazette, and has falsely accused me of libel for telling the readily verifiable truth about her, and has, and I think this is the most serious thing, involved herself directly in misuse of the criminal justice system to shut down my protest in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. That's a very anti-democratic move. You all done?
God, we haven't even started.
You haven't even started? Anyway, the thing with... So, we shall see if I can persuade Beryl that he really doesn't have any reason to fear being sued by Sue Montgomery, certainly not successfully. You know, I basically told her lawyer to buzz off 2 years and 11 months ago. As far as Sue goes, I can prove everything I'm saying about her. I have evidence to back it up. What?
What can I tell you? But for a newspaper to say
you should study libel law because it's almost impossible to get a successful libel lawsuit in Canada these days. I looked into it, believe me. Anyway, what about the bigger story of the misuse of blasphemy law? The misuse of our blasphemy law by the Unitarians to hide pedophilia and rape. What? No, but what I'm getting at is this is a misuse of the Canadian Criminal Code, or a threatened or misuse. What? Yeah, but what I'm getting at is this is a very anti-democratic attempt to squelch not just hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. It is actually, it's huge hypocrisy. A pseudo-democracy. Yeah, no, I figured that out a while ago. but what? Yeah. Anyhow, I think the Suburban can report the bigger story of the... What? You know what? Everything is, in terms of the Unitarian Church, you know, it's totally documented. Like it's 100% truthful. There's all kinds of documents proving what I'm saying. There's court records and everything. You know, I think your fear of being sued is basically unrealistic. And like I said, Sue threatened to sue me 2 years and 11 months ago. I'm still waiting. She said, her lawyer said, Sue will not hesitate to initiate the appropriate legal proceedings. Well, that was 2 years and 11 months ago, and I'm still waiting. I'm saying, bring it. And it's not happening because she'll lose. And the same goes for the Unitarians. They can't even charge me with blasphemous libel because it was so utterly false. So, you know, I mean, you're always campaigning for free speech and constitutional rights and so on. Here's a story that can show someone standing up for that, and you don't want to publish it. It's unfortunate. So that's the answer from Beryl Wiseman. He's too chicken to publish the story about the Unitarian Universalist Association's false blasphemous libel accusation against me because he's afraid he's going to get sued by the Unitarian Universalists, and he's too chicken to publish a story about about Sue Montgomery because he's afraid of being sued by Sue Montgomery. This is complete bullshit as far as I'm concerned. I'm very, very disappointed in Beryl Wiseman. And if he wants to sue me for libel, for saying he's chicken, well, he's welcome to do so, and he'll see what happens with that. But in any case, no, very, very disappointing. You know, I've been trying for months to get Beryl Wiseman to report the Unitarian Universalist religious community's false blasphemous libel accusation against me and all the issues around that. And then when I became aware that Sue Montgomery was running or wanted to be running for the mayor of Notre-Dame-de-Grâce and Côte-des-Neiges district in Montreal, you know, I brought it to his attention in June that Sue was essentially complicit in this attempted misuse of blasphemy law in terms of never speaking out against it and certainly not reporting it in the Gazette, as I believe she should have, in her capacity as a justice reporter. This was a serious misuse or attempted misuse of Canada's blasphemy law and legaling intended to conceal such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers. And everything's documented. Everything's got proof of what I'm saying. Talking to my camera. Just a little narration here. So anyhow, as the woman was looking back at me strangely, so I just let her know that I'm not talking to an imaginary friend. So anyhow, getting back to Beryl Wiseman, you know, this is basically the first time he's told me, oh no, we can't publish, we can't run there, we'll get sued. You know, I was sort of suspecting he might say something like that eventually, but extremely disappointing that this person who, you know, writes editorials about, you know, freedom of speech and defending freedom of speech and so on and so forth in the Suburban is basically doesn't have the backbone required to write a story that is actually very similar to the Boston Globe Spotlight movie story. You know, the highest levels of a religious community, the highest levels of leadership trying to conceal pedophilia and rape, say nothing of other clergy abuse, you know, by, in this case, misusing blasphemy law. You know, the dynamic there is almost identical to the dynamic of you know, the Boston Globe reporting on the Roman Catholic Church's cover-up of clergy abuse in the Boston area. But Beryl Wiseman basically just doesn't have the, you know, essentially the backbone required to report the story high. Yeah. For CBC, it's in there, yeah. So that's it, very unfortunate. So I think on that note, we'll wrap up this monologue. Maybe we'll keep the camera going. We got a few minutes left. It's basically I've been yammering away here for about half an hour. So we'll let the tape run out, as it were. But you know, I'm not impressed with Beryl. Basically, I think he, you know, like sometimes newspapers should risk a lawsuit. You know, if it's a true story and you know, it's just ridiculous. Like libel is making false statements. And the most recent jurisprudence in Canada, as I understand it, is that you can even make false statements as long as you believe them to be true. That's apparently the latest jurisprudence on libel in Canada, that even if what you're saying is a false statement, as long as you actually believe that statement to be true, it's not libel. That's what I understand the latest jurisprudence to be. And we're not even close to that. Everything I'm saying is supported by very, very solid evidence. I think the fact that you know, the Unitarian Universalist Association never proceeded on a single one of the threatened legal actions that it threatened, because it actually threatened 3 different legal actions, and didn't proceed on any of them. And the same goes for Sue. You know, she threatened to sue me for alleged libel back in December 4th of 2014. Well, it's November 3rd of 2017, and she hasn't filed papers, and I don't think she will, because she knows she's going to lose. She knows that she cannot possibly win a libel lawsuit against me. Her lawyer certainly knows that. I think her lawyer knew that even before he wrote the stupid letter. I think certainly Mark Banty was in a position to know that, you know, what he was claiming was libelous statements against Sue Montgomery in the cease and desist demand letter he had me served with were in fact not libelous, not in the least. I think he just plain lied as far as I'm concerned. Oh, and you can sue me for libel for that, Mark Banty, if you want, but you know you'll lose. You know you'll lose, Mark, because you're full of shit, Mark. So anyhow, yeah, I don't mind saying Mark Banty's full of shit when he falsely accuses me of libeling Sue Montgomery in an effort to help her conceal her complicity in the cover-up and denial of pedophilia and rape by the Unitarian Universalist religious community and various other injustices and abuses that she knows about but has never spoken out against. So we got a guy looking at now. Take a sign here. I think we'll just end this and start a